They've built up an enormous and dedicated following around the world. They're now seen and respected as one of this country's foremost music talents. With us now is the voice of Depeche, lead singer David Gahan. David, welcome to TVAM.
Very nice introduction.
Where are the other three?
Well, Andy's skiing somewhere, I think, in France somewhere, if he can find some snow. Martin's, I think, in Paris at the moment. And Alan, I think, is at home,
so they're
hopefully watching this,
they're
but I doubt
leaving you
it,
to do all the hard work then.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, what you're doing at the moment is promoting a new LP and a new film, aren't
That's
you?
right,
Tell me about the film.
Well, the film is something that we've been working on for a long while, all in all about 6 months. We started to work on it during the tour. The tour lasted around 10 months, and so we felt we had to sort of document the whole thing because it was such a big thing that we were doing in our career. And then we decided to do this big show at the Rose Bowl to finish the whole tour off.
The Rose Bowl where?
In Pasadena.
In California?
In California, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that was like the biggest crowd we'd ever played to. And we felt that we should really get it on film and record it and everything, and it would, you know, hopefully go down in history as one of being one of the big events of, you know, last year.
And the film is called 101.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it was in fact the 101st concert of the tour.
Oh, really?
We were hoping it to be 100, but
Oh, no,
somewhere another one got added.
I think 101 actually has a bit more
Yeah,
ring to it
yeah.
than 100. And the film's being premiered in London next Wednesday, isn't it?
That's right, at the Dominion, yeah.
And what happens with it after that?
Well, it depends if we get backers really to take the film into cinemas. I mean, it's going into cinemas in America, but in this country, there's, you know, it's a whole different scene. So it will eventually be coming out on video anyway, with the album and stuff. So.
Great. Well, we'll actually later on in the programme this morning we'll be seeing a clip from the film.
Oh, good.
Let's move on to the actual music rather than the film. Now, in America, you are incredibly successful as a live band, aren't you? It was 80,000 fans were watching you and cheering you on at the Pasadena, but not so much, perhaps, in the charts. Why do you think that is?
Well, you see, we've always toured as a band. We've always constantly toured everywhere we've gone to. We've treated in the same way. It's not like we've been successful in Britain, so we don't go anywhere else. We've always had success abroad. So America's taken a long while. You know, it's not just happened overnight. It's something we've been working on really for the last 9 years. And now suddenly, the record company have realised that we're actually almost playing to more people than we're selling records, so suddenly we've started to sell records as well, which is nice. But it's taken a long while.
Why does it take so long? I mean, why the difference? You'd have thought the charts first and then the live.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really work like that in America, and I think that in some ways that's a good thing. You know, it's very frustrating because you're out there touring and you're not seeing your records in the charts. But you know, in the end, I think you have a loyal following. And the records will come after a while. I don't know why really.
Now, people say that there's a lot of hype involved in selling records. Do you agree with that? And is that maybe why, have you not hyped your record company, not hyped your records, and maybe that might explain it?
Well, maybe they haven't spent enough money on us, no. I think they will now that we've started to do things, but there is a lot of hype involved, you know, in the music business. There always has been. Bands use the press and the press use the bands, you know, but it's all part of the game, really.
Yes, well, I'm not, of course, suggesting either that you haven't had some success in the charts. I mean, in the British charts, you've been around for years. I know.
Yeah.
More chat later on. I know you're coming. Well, in fact, you're staying on the sofa, and as I said, we'll see some from the film. But at the moment, we've got something else to show.
Okay.
Yeah, good to see you, David. Look forward to seeing that film. My spies tell me that it's a warts and all. There's all sorts of things going on this film, aren't there?
Yeah. Well, we didn't want to make the sort of run-of-the-mill band on stage type film because it's been done so many times and it's very sort of stereotyped now. So we wanted to make an honest film about what it's really like, to see everything, you know, the things that go on backstage, like the accounting and as well as, you know, us on stage, you know, the amount of people that are involved on the road. You know, there's like 30 people that we employ when we go out on the road, you know, so it's a big organisation, you know.
There's a sort of negative and positive to touring, isn't it, when a big group like yours tours? Let's deal with the negative first. It must have huge stretches of boredom, miles and miles of road work to do.
Well, you definitely go through phases of, you know, 1 month you feel great and then the next month you're completely down and you just want to go home and you've had enough of it all and you're ready to pack the whole thing in.
Do you get homesick?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you go, as I said, you go through phases. You know, sometimes you're feeling really good. It's nothing to do with the gigs or anything, or actually, it's just, you know, natural depression, really. You know, if you're locked up in a hotel room, different hotel rooms every day, it gets to you in the end.
But like every golfer's great shot, there's a great moment that keeps you all going. And when you mentioned to Kathy the Pasadena concert, how many people did you walk out in front of there?
There was actually about 70,000 people. There's been various sort of different people saying different amounts of people, but there was actually about 70,000. And yeah, it was the most incredible thing we've ever done. I mean, it was, not only was it because it was the last concert of the tour, you know, 10 months on the road, which was an emotional thing in itself, leaving all the people that you've been working with all these for the last year. But the whole, you know, when the curtain goes down, you see that amount of people going crazy. It's very, you know, it's lump in the throat stuff.
I was going to say lump in the throat. Is there any part of you that says, for God's sake, get me out of here?
Yeah, well, I mean, towards the end of the concert, it got so emotional that I actually found myself having trouble singing.
Really?
Because I just was sort of looking out. I mean, that sounds probably, you know, a bit twee, but it was really like that, you know. And I went backstage afterwards and just, you know, felt really upset that it was all over. And, but what a way to go out, you know. I
was going to say that the Priscilla Presley was talking about her life with Elvis. She was saying that the big area of problems for all pop stars and pop groups and so on is those hours after the concert.
Yeah.
How do you cope with the need to come down, if you like, off the plateau?
Well, wouldn't you like to know? Well, no, I mean, you know, when you come off stage, you know, the tension is very high. You're on an emotional high, but also you can get at each other. You know, sometimes there's actually a couple of members of the band have come to blows just because maybe someone's not playing their part properly, and it's so extreme, and you're so hyped up that you come off stage, and you know, basically anyone gets it. You know, if they're in the way. And you know, a couple of times there's been fights, actually, real, you know, they've been broke up, and then we've had to go back on stage to do an encore or something.
Does any of that come across in this film?
I think you sense a lot of the times in the film when there's real tension in the band and when possibly, you know, not getting on together at some points. But then there's other times when you know.
I'll tell you what, David, enough rabbit. We'll see the film after the break. How about that?
Fine.
Good plan, isn't it?
Well, we've been chatting with David Gahan, the lead singer of Depeche Mode, about his film 101. It's being premiered in London next week. We've got a clip of the film coming up now. It's of the band performing Behind the Wheel.
Dreams, David Gahan of Depeche Mode, isn't it? What's the equivalent, do you think?
Well, I mean, I was just comparing it to basically, like, it's a bit like a football match, you know, when I used to go and watch a football match, you're in the crowd, you know, watching the team getting really into it. I suppose it's a bit like that, you know.
Scoring the winning goal at the cup final.
That's right, yeah.
Stuff I do. Great to meet you. You've got your album coming out, live album.
Yeah, that's out mid-March, and that's when this will be going on to video then, and that will be coming out on video then as well.
You've worked hard, now you're going to play hard, are you?
Yeah, for a few months. Yeah.
Well, don't wreck yourself completely. Pleasure to meet you, David Gahan.
Thanks very much.
Good luck to the group too.
Thank you.